Hello, my loves. Thank you for watching, listening. This is The Art of a Woman with KloverDancer, and I am KloverDancer. I am always so excited to be able to be here and talking and about all the things women like, dress and shoes and nylons, sensuality, passion, seduction, all that good stuff. And I'm so thankful that you are here with me, taking part of this journey. If you are listening to VG Radio, welcome. Thank you, VG Radio. You're my wonderful family. It's so great to be a part of you guys. And then, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, hello, you are getting the enjoyment of the Dangle Cam, which was my little idea that I had randomly. It was just like, if legs are the thing, then why don't I give you, double the pleasure while I get to talk and you guys get to watch. So, yeah, it is so great to be here. I've talked about so many things. I think I've done on VG Radio probably about 30 or so episodes. Oh, no, maybe not 20. Okay. Anyways, I've done a lot. I've talked a lot. And so I know that in this new forum, I'm going to be probably repeating myself, but I figure why not? Because the topics still matter and they're still fun. And now if you're watching on YouTube, you get a chance to enjoy the visual along with it. So one of the things that I was going to talk about today was about workplace attire, because right now, as I'm recording this, I am at work. It's always such an interesting topic. It can be very dividing. And I have varied opinions about it that I would love to get into. So I've always been a dresser, right? I've just always taken an opportunity to dress up as nicely as I could. Part of it is because I didn't really dress up much. I was very much a tomboy growing up, and so I didn't get a chance to dress up nicely and sharply like I saw a lot of the other girls in my school do. And then I got into ballet, so the way I dressed really was just purposeful, because it was just dressing, putting on clothes was just a temporary thing to hurry up and strip down and be in my ballet attire and be dancing. So once I hit puberty and I started noticing some curves and things like that, I really kicked into gear, like a switch went off. And I only wanted to work positions or jobs that were office that allowed me to dress up and wear heels, because I grew up as an 80s baby watching, working women and all that. And I'm just like, these women are sharp, and I want to do that. I want to have that big boss energy and, like just be wearing my power suits and my heels and, my nylons and all that. So that was a big draw for me and a reason why I chose, office positions. It wasn't like I was going to work with my hands. That wasn't going to happen. But I've always been a nice dresser, and I noticed that, people go for comfort a lot, and nothing is wrong with comfort. This conversation really actually is me being completely neutral to everything. So I really don't have a strong opinion anyway. Every woman deserves the right to be comfortable if that's what they want. Every woman deserves the right to be sexy if that's what she wants. But there is a point where you can be taking it a little bit too far. And it's funny because what I'm wearing right now is something I would never, ever wear in the office. So if you're watching on YouTube, you will see that I am wearing a red sweater dress. Now, if it was maybe, I'd say 3 inches longer, it could be passable, but this is a short sweater dress. It comes up around the thigh, mid-thigh, and as you walk and move, especially with nylons, how the fabric plays against it, it can go up higher and higher. And there's a thing amongst women that we know, a code. As you get older, Like if what you're wearing requires you to constantly be pulling down or constantly hiding a bra strap, you know, you're too old for that stuff. Like maturing as a woman is knowing how to dress and avoid those, you know, rookie sort of things. And so wearing a dress that I'm constantly having to pull down is, for me, a faux pas. And so I just wouldn't do it. But also too, just the shortness of this dress is distracting and it calls attention. Now, I don't mind attention. I don't, from afar. But when I'm wearing this, it's like there's always the discussion of just like a woman should be able to dress however she wants, and you know, men should be able to curb their, and all of that is true. All of that is true. But we also, like, two things can also be true, right? It's like, but we're not there yet, right? We can talk about all this of what it's supposed to be and how it should be, and it's true, but the fact of the reality is that that's not truly where we are. So we have to take some responsibility in, you know, the environments that we put ourselves in and how we show up in those environments. And so, you know, I take it very seriously. If I know that I'm dressing this way, then I am welcoming a certain amount of engagement. And it's not people who say like, "Oh, your hair's so pretty," or something like that. Like I've drawn them in, and it will look like I did so purposefully, or I just, for whatever reason, was just born into this body yesterday, and I'm just like, "Why are you looking at me and objectifying me?" All right. So while I love this dress, this is more of a, you know, date night dress. You know, when I'm with a man who, you know, deserves to have me at his arm, who can also keep me safe from men who would be making advances otherwise. Or I wouldn't say I'd go out like this with my girls. I should make that actually another show, just because there are certain things we as women have to do or have to think about, like when we put ourselves out into the wild for men to, you know, look at us, and the attention that we call in. We also have to be wise about how, you know, va-va-voomy we get, because, yeah, that's a whole different story. Anyways, back to workplace attire. So, yeah, I wouldn't wear this, but I do believe that, you know, wearing something that's form-fitting, that flatters you is great. Like I said, if it's something that you're constantly having to adjust, that loses its sexiness. You lose the sexiness, and also takes away your confidence. So if any women are watching right now, like, it's not even so much how it's just, you know, a poor choice of clothing, but it's when you're constantly adjusting, you're not fully present, when you're constantly thinking about how you look, because your wardrobe is failing you, essentially. So you do lose that spark. So those things, but, you know, also too, depending on the position that you're in the office environment, you know, I work in a more managerial, you know, ownership role, and you know, I have to be careful and mindful of how I present myself, not only for the people that I manage, but also my clients that show up. Like, they need to know that, you know, I have it together, I'm well groomed, and I'm not out here trying to steal women's husbands. I think that's also too another big thing. When you have the confidence and you dress confidently, and if you choose sexy, that's great, then it is like the onus is on you to make sure you don't alienate your clients or your staff or the people who work under you. And the choices you make in your clothing tell on you about the choices that you'll make in business, and that you'll make in management decisions. So, you know, we have to keep all of those things in mind. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, where women tend to go for comfort, I'm not going to lie. Every once in a while, I do come in jeans or just, you know, sneaks, whatever. We're all allowed to do whatever we want. But I can understand where, you know, it might be we lose ourselves. Some women can lose themselves in comfort and not really shine and show, their a part of their character that is, can't be seen under loose clothes. So, what do you do about that, right? I want to always bring us women in the middle where we can have it all. But if we just play our cards, because we as women, we have so much power, in how we can change the room, change the mood of the space. And it always makes me sad when I see a woman not using all of her power to be able to, you know, and it's not only just to men, right? This is not necessarily for the male gaze. And I can already see comments if it should ever, this video ever make, the light of day outside of my normal fan base. Oh, you're doing it for male gaze. No, I'm doing it actually for myself. And also too, a lot of the reason why I like to dress nicely in the office is to remind other women that they can do it, and to remind them to maybe get into your closet, maybe put on that cute dress that you haven't worn in a while. Maybe take those get those heels off the top shelf and dust them off and wear them. I want women to see how it can be, and I want to do so successfully. I want to be a successful showing of, having the confidence and wearing, clothes that are, nice and tailored and smelling nice and put together nice, so that they can remember those parts of them that they put off to the side because of motherhood, or just life started lifing so much, all of those things that happen to all of us, and myself included. So I don't dress for the male gaze, quite honestly. That does nothing for me in person, because it's empty, right? I'm so much more than my dress. I'm so much more than how I look. But I do this for myself. I dress for myself, and I dress for other women, just to remind them what it is, and maybe it inspires someone to, the next day just do something a little extra. Do that pop of color. Do whatever that makes you feel like you're stepping out of your shell just a little bit more. So that is pretty much all of what I wanted to say. There's always so much more. Like, I could keep talking and on and on and on, but I will spare you guys. Until next time, which we will get to next week. But tell me what you think. What do you think about women in office dress? Do women dress sexy in your office? Are they a little bit more on the comfort side? What would you like to see more of, in dress? What is too much? That's a distraction. What is not enough? I want to just tell me all the things. I do appreciate the comments, though. The compliments that you guys put in my videos, I really, truly appreciate it. And if you made it all the way through this podcast, this video, I love you to the moon and back. Thank you guys so, so much. But yeah, I would love to hear from you. So please do tell me. And if, again, you are listening on VG Radio, you deserve the best, because you're worth it. Thank you, VG fam, for having me where it all started. So grateful to be here. And for all of you on YouTube, thanks for watching. Again, this is Art of a Woman with KloverDancer, and I am KloverDancer. I thank you so much, and I hope you have a most magical week.